Higler found fatally shot in bed. A 55-year-old Higler was found dead in his bed Wednesday morning. Elvis Moore, otherwise Cos Hooper, a resident of Top Albany in Islington, had gunshot wounds to the upper body. Police reported that around 12:30 a.m., residents heard what sounded like gunshot coming from Moore's one-bedroom house. Upon checks on Moore around 5:45 a.m., a relative found that the door was forcibly open and Moore was lying in blood, lifeless. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, Moore was observed on his back in bed. He had several gunshot wounds to the right side of his body. He was pronounced dead at the scene, according to the police, who also said there were no signs of robbery. Moore's death brings to 16 the number of murders in St. Mary since the beginning of the year. St. Mary Police Division are investigating and are assuring residents that all efforts are being made to bring those responsible to justice and maintain peace within the community. Ambulance drivers resume duties after emergency talks with Labour Ministry. Ambulance drivers assigned to the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department have agreed to return to work following emergency talks on Tuesday, ending 2 days of industrial action that disrupted public health services across the region. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, which convened a meeting, said the decision to resume duty was reached after discussions involving the Jamaica Association of Local Government Officers, representatives from the Southeast Regional Health Authority, and the Health Department's management. The drivers, represented by Jalgo, staged a sit-out on Monday and Tuesday, citing long delays in overtime payments and grievances over their overall work arrangement, including calls for the upgrading to their posts. The action impacted several services, including mental health outreach, nursing support at Kingston Public Hospital, and ambulance operations at the National Trust Hospital. Arising from the agreement, the drivers have agreed to resume normalcy at the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department, bringing to Wednesday, the ministry said in a statement. A follow-up consultation meeting is scheduled for September 10 at the Labour Ministry. Ahead of Tuesday's meeting, the Southeast Regional Health Authority said it had activated contingency plans to limit the fallout from the sick-out, including arrangements with private ambulance providers. The authority maintains that transport logistics remain the responsibility of individual health facilities under its decentralization system. Fraser Price reveals reason behind Paris 2024 Olympics withdrawal. Iconic Jamaican sprinter Shelly Fraser Price, competing in what was meant to be her final Olympic Games, stunned fans when she withdrew from the women's 100-meter semi-final at the Paris 2024 Olympics, reportedly due to an injury sustained during warm-ups. The abrupt end brought an emotional close to her individual Olympic campaign, or so the world thought. However, in a recent interview with Marie, the 8-time Olympian revealed that the official story didn't tell the full truth, as conditions leading up to that moment ultimately derailed her Olympic swan song. Last year was very hard for me mentally and physically, she said. I've always done it for the flag and show up to do it for my country, but what happened in Paris, that was a me decision. After running a solid 10.92 seconds in the heats and advancing to the semifinals, Fraser Price was soaking in what was expected to be her final individual Olympic appearance. But that moment was quickly undone by confusion at the gate. They tell me that the gate is closed, and I'm like, well, the track is like right there, and I used the gate yesterday. They tell me that they made the decision to not use the gate that morning. Fraser Price was left standing outside the track for at least 30 minutes while officials made calls presumably to verify her access. She had hoped the issue would be cleared up quickly, given she had passed through the same gate the day before. It wasn't like there was 100 people trying to go through the gate, she said. Walking to another entrance meant going by pedestrians and among attendees walking. The delay significantly cut into her critical 3-hour warm-up window, as she had to use another gate. She had lost an hour, her body was tight, her focus shattered. During her final warm-up reps, she knew something was off. Her muscles were cramping and mentally, she was spiraling. I was probably having a panic attack, she admitted. I felt I could see it in the front of me, and it was ripping out of my hands. I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter. I love rising to the occasion. I wanted to do it for my country, but I had to ask, what's right for me? Ultimately, she made the heartbreaking decision to withdraw and was officially marked as DNS did not show just moments before the race. The withdrawal shocked Jamaica and track fans around the world. Now, a year later, the five-time 100-meter world champion is ready to reset. She is preparing to compete at the World Athletic Championship in Tokyo this year, determined to close her legendary career on her own terms. Transport Minister Darrell Voss described PNP supporters' stance on rural school bus system as unsurprising. Transport Minister Darrell Voss has described as unsurprisingly the stance taken by some supporters of the opposition as it relates to the now controversial rural school bus system. The matter has been the subject of debate by members of both government and opposition as to the merits and demerits of the system, with each side positing that it has the better of transportation plan. In a statement, Voss took note of what he deemed the continued effort of the People's National Party and other social media commentators to discredit the bus system, which he says will provide safe, reliable, and convenient service to children and will reduce transportational costs being faced by parents. Mr. Voss alleged that the latest effort by the opposition involved social media posts by individuals he claimed are PNP bloggers. He said these posts question the cost of the buses and the inspection routine. Mr. Voss stressed that the buses have undergone rigorous inspection at various levels, including by the United States Department of Transport, Jamaica Urban Transit Company engineers, and were subjected to fitness procedures undertaken by the Island Traffic Authority. The buses also contain stickers which confirm inspection overseas as recent as this year. Current inspection approval decals for 2025 are affixed to the vehicles. Voss also pointed to a social media post of an invoice pertaining to some of the 110 buses which have been purchased. He said the invoice does not reflect the sale price of the majority of the buses which have been purchased. The invoice also does not reflect additional costs, including expenses associated with retrofitting of the buses, including doors, 5 to 6 cameras per bus, driving monitoring system and network, parts for 1 year for all buses, maintenance contract for 1 year, geofencing service, cashless fare system, customs duty, inland transport of buses, and sea fringe. Mr. Voss claimed that the PNP are trying to deceive Jamaicans. The minister said following the opposition's previous declaration that it supports the implementation of a school bus system, he is not surprised that supporters of the party continue to discredit the initiative.
It is not surprising to me that even after issuing a statement yesterday, minutes before my press conference, that they supported the implementation of a rural school bus system based on the pressure and the backlash that they have come under, that they are now once again using their agents on social media to continue the wicked, evil, and bad thoughts on the school bus system. The information in my press release clarifies, and I am prepared to continue to clarify on a daily basis if necessary to make sure that the Jamaican people understand that what is coming for them is long in waiting and it is going to be executed by this minister and this government, regardless of what the opposition tries to do in terms of bringing this policy into disrepute.
Political ombudsman urges tolerance amid reports of defaced election posters. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica (ECJ), in its role of political ombudsman, is urging the political parties and supporters to show respect for each other and the democratic process amid growing reports of vandalism, including campaign materials. The warning comes as the island gear up for elections, with incidents emerging of political posters, banners and flyers being torn down or defaced, allegedly by individuals opposing the candidates or party's features. This behavior undermines the spirit of democracy and peaceful political engagement, said ECJ Chairman Earl Jarrett. We understand the passion that comes with political campaigning, but we must all remember that democracies thrive where there is mutual respect. The general election is widely expected by September. The Ombudsman is reminding all Jamaicans that every citizen has the right to freely express their political support without fear or interference. Political leaders are being encouraged to promote unity, tolerance, and restraint during the campaign period. The Office of the Political Ombudsman says it will continue monitoring campaign activity and is calling on the public to report breaches of the agreement and declaration on political conduct. Complaints can be submitted via online portal at www.ecg.com.jm, by email to ecgombudsman@eog.com.jm, or delivered in person to 46 Dirk Street, Kingston. The office can also be reached at 876-754-5845. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.